5 ways Japanese minimalism helped me stop comparing myself to others. Have you ever felt like you're constantly measuring your life against everyone else's highlight reel? What if we told you that ancient Japanese wisdom holds the key to breaking free from this exhausting cycle of comparison? Today, we're diving into something that completely changed our perspective. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, we love exploring simple ways to live a more peaceful and intentional life. Today, we're talking about something that honestly transformed how we see ourselves and the world around us: Japanese minimalism. Now, before you think this is just another video about decluttering your closet, stick with us. We're going deep into how these 5 Japanese principles helped us break free from the comparison trap that was honestly making us miserable. And trust us, by the end of this video, you'll have some real tools you can start using today. The comparison trap we all know too well. Let's be honest for a second. We live in a world where comparison feels almost unavoidable. We scroll through social media and see someone's perfect vacation photos while we're sitting in our pajamas eating cereal for dinner. We hear about a friend's promotion while we're still figuring out our career path. Sound familiar? Here's what's crazy. Studies show that the average person spends over 2 hours a day on social media, and researchers have found a direct link between social media use and increased feelings of inadequacy. But here's the thing. This isn't really about social media. It's about how we've been taught to measure our worth against external standards that honestly don't make much sense when you really think about it. We used to fall into this trap constantly, always looking over our shoulder, wondering if we were doing enough, having enough, being enough. It was exhausting. That's when we discovered these Japanese concepts that completely shifted our perspective. 1. Wabi-sabi. Finding beauty in the imperfection. The first game changer for us was understanding wabi-sabi. Now, don't worry about pronouncing it perfectly. The concept is what matters. Wabi-sabi is all about finding beauty in imperfection and accepting the natural cycle of life, including aging and decay. Think about it this way. In Western culture, we're obsessed with perfection. Perfect bodies, perfect homes, perfect lives. But wabi-sabi teaches us that the crack in your favorite coffee mug doesn't make it worthless. It makes it uniquely yours. That scar you have from childhood, that's part of your story. Those laugh lines around your eyes, they're proof you've lived and smiled. When we started embracing wabi-sabi, something beautiful happened. We stopped trying to hide our imperfections and started seeing them as what makes us human. Instead of comparing our messy, real lives to someone else's curated perfection, we began appreciating our own unique journey with all its bumps and beautiful imperfections. This shift was huge for us. We stopped filtering our photos to death and started sharing more authentic moments. We stopped apologizing for our small apartment and started loving its cozy, lived-in feel. Wabi-sabi taught us that perfection isn't the goal. Authenticity is. 2. Ikigai, your unique reason for being. The second principle that changed everything for us was ikigai. This beautiful concept translates roughly to reason for being or life's purpose. But here's what makes ikigai so powerful. It's not about finding some grand world-changing mission. It's about discovering what makes you feel alive and fulfilled, even in the smallest moments. Ikigai sits at the intersection of what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. But don't get hung up on that formula. The real magic happens when you stop comparing your path to everyone else's and start paying attention to what genuinely lights you up inside. We remember spending years feeling behind because we hadn't figured out our passion like it seemed everyone else had. But Ikigai taught us that purpose isn't always this big, obvious thing. Maybe your Ikigai is making people laugh. Maybe it's helping plants grow. Maybe it's organizing things in a way that brings peace to chaos. These are all valid and beautiful purposes. The comparison trap often comes from thinking there's only one right way to live or succeed. But Ikigai reminds us that everyone's reason for being is different, and that's exactly as it should be. When we stopped trying to fit our square peg into everyone else's round holes, we finally started building a life that actually felt like ours. 3. Ma. The power of space and stillness. Here's a concept that might sound simple, but is absolutely revolutionary. Ma. Ma is the Japanese appreciation for negative space, pauses, and the power of what's not there. In art, it's the empty space that makes the subject stand out. In music, it's the silence between notes that give them meaning. But Ma goes deeper than just art. It's about understanding that space and stillness are just as important as action and accomplishment. We live in a culture that celebrates being busy, having more, doing more, but Ma teaches us that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is nothing at all. When we started incorporating Ma into our lives, the constant need to compare ourselves to others began to fade. Instead of filling every moment with productivity or social media scrolling, we began creating space for reflection and just being. We started taking walks without podcasts, sitting quietly with our morning coffee, and giving ourselves permission to have unscheduled time. This space allowed us to connect with who we actually are, not who we thought we should be based on everyone else's lives. In the stillness, we could hear our own voice instead of the noise of comparison. Ma taught us that our worth isn't measured by how busy we are or how much we're doing compared to others. Sometimes the most profound growth happens in the quiet moments. 4. Mono no aware, the gentle sadness of impermanence. Now, this might sound a bit sad at first, but stay with us. Mono no aware is actually incredibly freeing. It translates roughly to the pathos of things, or the gentle sadness that comes from understanding that everything is temporary. Now, this isn't about being depressed or giving up. It's about recognizing that everything, the good times and the hard times, will pass. Your friend's perfect relationship that you're jealous of, it will change and evolve. That promotion you didn't get, there will be other opportunities. That amazing vacation someone posted, it's already a memory. Understanding Mono no aware helped us stop getting so caught up in comparing moments and started appreciating them for what they are, temporary experiences that make up the beautiful, ever-changing tapestry of life. We stopped putting so much pressure on ourselves to have constant peak experiences because we understood that life is meant to be a mix of highs and lows, ordinary moments and extraordinary ones. This perspective is incredibly freeing when it comes to comparison. When you understand that everyone's life is constantly changing and nothing stays the same forever, you realize that comparing your current chapter to someone else's highlight reel doesn't make much sense. We all have seasons of growth and seasons of rest, moments of success and moments of struggle. 5. Kaizen, the magic of small, consistent steps. The final principle that transformed our relationship with comparison was Kaizen, the philosophy of continuous small improvements. Unlike the Western obsession with dramatic transformation and overnight success, Kaizen is all about making tiny, sustainable changes over time. Here's why this was so powerful for us. We stopped comparing our progress to people who seemed to have made massive leaps and started focusing on our own small, consistent steps forward. Instead of feeling discouraged because we weren't where someone else was, we began celebrating our own incremental progress. Kaizen taught us that growth doesn't have to be dramatic to be meaningful. Reading for 10 minutes a day is better than not reading at all. Taking a short walk is better than no exercise. Saving $5 is better than saving nothing. These small actions compound over time in ways that are honestly magical. When you embrace Kaizen, comparison becomes less relevant because you're not trying to match anyone else's pace or path. You're simply committed to being slightly better today than you were yesterday. This takes so much pressure off and allows you to appreciate your own unique journey at your own unique speed. Bringing it all together. So there you have it, 5 Japanese principles that completely changed how we think about ourselves and our lives. Wabi-sabi taught us to embrace imperfection. Ikigai helped us find our own unique purpose. Ma showed us the power of stillness and space. Mono no aware reminded us that everything is temporary, and Kaizen gave us permission to grow at our own pace. The beautiful thing about these concepts is that they work together. When you embrace your imperfections, find your unique purpose, create space for stillness, accept impermanence, and focus on small improvements, comparison naturally begins to fade. You become too busy living your own authentic life to worry about measuring it against everyone else's. We're not saying this transformation happens overnight. Remember, Kaizen teaches us that real change happens gradually. But we can honestly say that incorporating these principles into our daily lives has brought us more peace and contentment than we ever thought possible. What resonated most from you from today's video? Have you tried incorporating any Japanese philosophy into your life? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing from you and learning about your experiences. If this video helped you in any way, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content about living simply and intentionally. Until next time, remember, your life is uniquely yours, and that's exactly what makes it beautiful.